Hi there, it's Neoshi from Neoshi Hypno and Soul Healing, and I wanted to make this short video, basically just to kind of tell you about myself, how I started this journey, a little bit about my history, because I've been asked this, before, and getting requests to make this video. So thought now would be a perfect time to do that. I just kind of finished, well, not necessarily finished, but I was in the middle of a session, and a client was having some issues, some technical issues, and we had to reschedule the session. So I thought a better time to do it now. So where do I start? Well, first of all, let me tell you who I am, what I do, just in case you're watching this and you don't know. Like I said, my name is Neoshi from Neoshi Hypno and Soul Healing. I work with women who are on a deep spiritual journey to heal their soul, break through blockages, and align with their divine purpose. I conduct hypnosis sessions, um, and those hypnosis sessions I use various methods, including past life regression, spirit assistance, just to name a few. But in those sessions, what I do is we look for the origin of the issues that you're experiencing. So if you come to me and you have a fear of something and you want to know where this fear come from, we look for the origin of that fear. Or if you're having issues, let's say you want answers about what's going on with your relationship, if you should stay in a relationship, or if you shouldn't, all different type of situations that women come to me with. But we look for the origin of whatever issue that you're facing, and sometimes you'll find them in a current life, or should I say a childhood issue, um, or childhood experience, should I say. And if we're not able to find it there, then sometimes it shows up from a past life experience. Where we'll go, where we'll find it at, I don't know. I'm not psychic, I'm not a medium, I have no idea where they come from. But what I do is I facilitate the session, I guide you to the origin using hypnosis. And so the more popular method that people know of is past life regression. So that is a topic that people get really excited about, and they want to know about what was I in my past life and things like that. And so we explore that as well. And while we're talking about past life regression, um, I do offer free past life group regressions. If you're a part of my mailing list, that is, of course. You When you sign up, you get exclusive invites to those events when I do hold them. They're virtual, but you can join the mailing list by going to neoshihypno.com and clicking on the tab at the top that says "Just for You." And when you join my mailing list, you also get a free download uh, a free download called Five Huge Blocks That Keep You from Stepping into Your Divine Purpose. Um, so get that. Get that. And like I said, once you sign up for the email list, and you'll get those notifications when I do hold them. And it's not often. Right now I'm not able to offer it very often. It's maybe twice a year right now. But when I do, the next time I do, you will get it. So, what was I talking about? Yeah, so I want to tell you a bit about my story, how I got to where I am now, doing what I'm doing now. Um, so, of course, I'm not going to be able to go over my whole life story in just a few minutes. So, and I want to keep this video short, but I did write some bullet points that I want to touch on, just to make sure that I don't start rambling and go off topic. So, as a child, let's start there, right? As a child, I was, because I was very shy or reserved, that's what people would describe me as shy. But I guess I would describe myself as just being very analytical, very observative of everything around me, what's going on around me. Um, People would tell me that I was very mature for my age and kind of like an old soul and things like that. And I was aware of that. A lot of times I didn't feel like I belonged. I didn't feel like I fit in with children my age. I just always felt different from everyone else. And it could be because, like I said, I was just very analytical. I was always interested in how things, like how people, what makes people tick, you know, how their mind works. So maybe that's part of, you know, why I felt that way. But um, in addition to that, having, you know, being a child, 4 or 5 years old, and having that knowingness about myself, I also experienced, you know, bullying at an early age, where it made me more self-aware, which, you know, at eventually messed with my self-esteem. You know, I would get called all kind of names that little dark girls like me would get called back in the day, and even now, to be honest. Um, and that, of course, affected me tremendously, to the point where I had to do a lot of self-healing work over the years. That involved just the natural, the old-fashioned form of healing through the years, and having to take time to heal that. But as far as family life, I grew up in a Christian household. Both my parents, Baptist, Methodist. So we went to church every Sunday. I was even in a church choir. We were very active in the church. And I just remember always feeling like I don't I don't belong, in a way. Let me not say I don't belong. I felt like I couldn't connect. Let me say that. I was always um, like if you've ever been to a black church, you know how they get down, okay? I would see a lot of people, you know, just really feeling the spirit, you know, Holy Ghost, they catching the Holy Ghost and really feeling it. And always wonder, I was like, okay, why don't I feel that way? Why don't I connect in that same way? I always felt like a disconnection there. And I wanted it, but I just felt like it wasn't there. I felt like, at one point I was like, well, maybe everybody's faking it. So I said, what if I fake it? Maybe that'll work. So I remember one day at church, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna fake it, and I just started doing what I saw everybody else was doing, and did my whole dance and fell on the ground, like I passed out, and was like, okay, this they can't be faking it. What would be the point of faking it? I don't get it. And it was like, I don't think this is it. You know, I don't think this is what they're doing. So, um, not to make the story long, but, you know, I tried that. It was still, it even intrigued me just even more. It made me crave even more that connection to source. So, in one particular instance, when I was 16 years old, I had a really um, interesting experience that made me even become even more fascinated with, I guess, the spiritual realm and how things work. And I was in high school, 16, and I was with a friend. And um, at the time, we were going to visit people who were sick and shut in. And my friend was, you know, praying, or with a group of other church women who were praying for another woman who was sick and shut in. She was in her bed, and um, what appeared to be possibly her deathbed. Um, so we went there, and they were in the room praying over her. I stood just outside the bedroom door to the side, but I was, you know, peeking in. Um, Again, like I said, I wasn't really, um, didn't really feel connected in that way. So I guess so. Me standing back was my discomfort and not knowing really how to, I guess, move forward. I don't know, but I didn't go there. Let me just finish this up, right? So I stood outside the room to the side, but I was still standing inside in the doorway, more so to say. Um, and as they're praying, after a few minutes, all of a sudden I feel a very large force of energy come and basically like run through me to the point where you would swear like my hair was blowing in the wind. It was that strong of a force. And I feel like it ran through me. And as soon as that happened, I immediately got really weak, very weak, to the point where I couldn't stand up. I got really hot. I started sweating. And then at the same time, I was sweaty and cold and hot at the same time, sweating. And I literally had to like grab the wall, turn around outside the room door, turn around and like slide myself down to sit down because I was just that weak. And I was flabbergasted, like, what the hell is happening? So I sat down and I'm sitting there and I'm like trying to breathe and I'm trying to calm myself down because I don't know what's going on. I just know that something went through me, and whatever just happened wasn't, I guess, say normal. And yeah, so after a moment or two, my friend came out the room and noticed I was on the side of the wall, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And I explained to him, "Hey, listen, something's not right. I'm feeling this way." And so, he's fanning me and he's talking to me. And then after another minute, it was like, it just went away. It was gone. It was like, it just literally like came and gone like that. And I was fine. But that experience stayed with me. It stuck with me because I knew, and I felt so, and I still feel that to this day, that was, I don't know, I can't say that was the woman's spirit. I don't think she died at that moment, but something or whatever was in that room, whether it been a spirit, God. So I don't know. This is me hypothesizing. All I know is my experience and what I felt and what I know that happened. So I remember leaving from there and talking to my mom, calling my mom and tell her what happened, and they immediately started praying for me. And her being the Southern Christian woman she is, she's praying that any demons or whatever that might have possessed me, trying to pray out the demon. And I was like, "Mom, I'm fine. Nothing's. I'm good. I'm good." And then all my aunts and everybody came. When the aunts come and they start laying hands on you, yeah. So they all prayed for me. But that experience in itself was very monumental for me, and it really piqued my interest in the spiritual world with that. And so when I got in college is when, I guess you could say, that interest really began to um, grow. It's because that's when I really started to like get to know more about African spiritualities and just knowing it, and just every other religion out there, just exploring different um, thoughts of what did you call it, schools of thoughts. And that's when I began to kind of find my rhythm, and I began to try and make a connection that felt good to me. I consider my sessions very spiritual. Um, and although I may not have the same religion as everybody else, I still respect all of my clients' religions individually. I get clients who are Buddhist, who are Christian, who are Muslim, um, you know, um, you name it. And I work with them in their capacity because I truly believe that we're all um, looking for the same things. We're all striving to be connected to source. We're all striving to be better in our lives and in alignment with our purpose. We're all striving to be just better, happier lives at the end of the day. So I don't discriminate when it comes to saying, "Oh, I only work with this person, I only work with that person." I respect and know that we all have um, our own beliefs, and that shouldn't be a roadblock for us being able to communicate and help each other. So that is something that um, that's very important to me. Me, like I look like I have a black eye. It's black hair. Maybe that's throwing the makeup. Maybe I don't know. Oh yeah, I see it coming off. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, I've had my share of experiences, my ups and downs and things like that, where especially during my Saturn return. Y'all don't know what that is, look it up. Astrology, Saturn return. Things get heavy during your Saturn return. But where I basically had to well, I noticed that every time my Saturn return would come, I would be facing the same issues. It would still be the same issues that I'm facing, and every single time they would get worse and worse and worse and worse. And that's when I started to get more knowledgeable about astrology and study it a bit more. And at some point, I realized, like, okay, this is happening because I'm not doing the work I need to do. And when I started to look at my life and all the cycles that I keep repeating, and the things that keep showing up that I know I need to work on, and I'm not doing it. Like, I'm putting it off because I don't want to deal with it, or I don't want to face the facts. You know, that's a hard one, to face the facts of what you're going with, especially if it's a toxic relationship and you don't want to let that person go, or you feel like, you know, I put in all this work in all these years, I don't know if I'm ready to let that go. um, you have to do, you know, just had to do a lot of um, soul searching, and then healing for myself first, so that I know what I want moving forward, and then what I'll accept moving forward. Um, because it makes it easier for me now to be able to move and say, okay, I know that this is what I need for me, and if this person isn't willing to, or cannot be that person, then I have to move on. And that's a lot of what I went through when or should I say, one of the things that was a really big challenge for me in overcoming that. It took me years to really overcome that, and it was hell. But I'm grateful that I did get through it. I didn't realize that the whole time my guides and ancestors was there with me. And when I look back now, I see how they were, and I'm so grateful for that. And so while I'm mentioning guides and my guides and ancestors, during my sessions, I do um, um, speak with my guides and my ancestors. Actually, before the session, I kind of speak with them and ask them to assist me in my sessions, as well as my clients' guides and their ancestors. Um, but that is a big part of the sessions, and why I feel my sessions have been so successful and so healing in so many ways for my clients, and even for me, because when I get clients, a lot of times there'll be experiences that come up that I've either already healed from, and so I know how or where um, they need to focus on, so I'll be able to guide them in that area. Or it'll be something that maybe I'm currently dealing with, or maybe I see I need improvement with, and then I'll get healing from my client session when I see how their session, you know, what happens during their session. So going through those issues with my Saturn returns, from self work, you know, because in all work requires first that you heal yourself before you can really move forward and really focus on other aspects of yourself, like involving relationships outside of you, because you can't change someone else, but you can definitely work on yourself or change yourself if needed. So going through those without going into too much detail, because we'll be here another 10 years. I had those, I've had my shares of issues I've had to heal. probably in every part of life, from me becoming a mom and my relationship with my children, my relationship with my husband, my relationship with my parents, um, my career, my purpose. And that was a really big um, part of my depression at one point. Me finding, me trying to find and figure out what my whole purpose was. Because at one point I had a very lucrative 6-figure business that was literally took care of itself. Let's just say that. Um, and I was still unhappy. Like, I felt empty. Like, I didn't feel fulfilled at all. Um, there's just some things that money can't buy. And that was one of them. I felt like I'm not willing to sacrifice um, my happiness for that. So, years I searched and would come across different healing modalities, like the one I'm using now. Um, and because they were a lot different, at least the ones that I was drawn to and I felt connected to were so much different from what I guess you could say my beliefs and what I was taught. Um, I just I didn't allow myself to entertain them, but the interest was so much, very much there. Um, so fast forward years later, this kept coming back until um, one day I just met my mind. I was like, you know what? And this is from the guidance of my husband and his advice. Um, when I, found the modality that I'm using, and I saw these people getting, not just, soul healing, but even sometimes physical healing um, from those situations and things that were affecting them. And the fact that it merged spirituality, which is a very big part of my life, as well as soul healing, because I've always been the type of person that people come to for advice and answers to situations. I don't know, I guess people just naturally trusted me. Um, and maybe because they could see that I wasn't being judgmental of them, but really wanting to help. Um, I naturally just wanted to be in that capacity where I'm able to help someone, but in a different way, in a way that reaches their soul, that really changes their life and it really affects them in a major way. And so, looking at various videos from Dolores Cannon and her method, at one point, I was contemplating doing that method, and then I stumbled upon the method I'm using now, which is introspective hypnosis, and that was life changing for me because I literally was it captivated me because it not only had the spirituality in there and the healing, but then of course the past life regression was a big, like I fell in love with that and wanting to know more, and how is this all possible, and just forming my own ideas, and just really and everybody has their own beliefs, but for me I felt it just felt right. And so, after some time, my husband talked to me and said, hey, listen, all you do is watch these videos all day, all night, literally. And I would literally wake up and be watching videos while I'm doing chores around the house. I'd have them playing in the background. Or at night when I go to sleep, I would be listening to something on headphones while I'm in the bed and watching a video. And my husband one day was like, listen, why don't you just learn to do this stuff yourself? Why don't you, because you're obviously feel drawn to it, and just why don't you consider maybe a career in that? And then she was like, huh, because I had never given it a thought. I just never thought about it in that capacity. And then I said, okay, I'll just sit with it and see what spirit says to me. And later that night, it just really hit me like, no, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like, I got an overwhelming feeling of this is what we've been trying to lead you to. But because I think that I was allowing myself to not consider it because, again, of the beliefs, I guess, that people would have about it, because at least my family, because I grew up in a very Christian family. And that's not to say that, Christians are closed-minded, because there's a lot of clients that I get who are Christian and they're very spiritual as well. And, we our sessions are very respective of that. But I know, my family, and speaking on my family and how I know I was raised and the things that I was told to believe. And I thought that that would maybe clash together. And I didn't want to have, I didn't want my family to get me like the black sheep of the family, or they got me like I was crazy or anything like that. And not that any of this stuff is crazy, but some people, they just have their own ideas formed, and and that's fine. Everybody is where they need to be, and everybody has different lessons they're here to learn and different levels. So, I respect that. But I mean, knowing how my family may respond to it is what kept me back from pursuing this type of work whenever I would be drawn to it. And so basically me choosing me and saying whatever people can think what they want to think, me coming to terms with knowing that I have to be who I am, who I was created to be, unapologetically, and know that those who love me will still love me regardless, and understand and see my heart and know me for me, and know me, and what I'm trying to do and what I'm leading with. And it's either they'll accept it and they'll love me still, or they won't, and we'll deal with that however we need to deal with that. But yeah, so long story short, here I am now. Been having sessions for women all over the world, from Europe to Canada to all this, throughout the United States, helping these women with, you know, heal, their soul, because of different experiences that they might have had during their childhood, and they've still been affected by it and didn't know. Or in other areas is, healing them from other issues that they might have experienced from past trauma, whether it be from past lives and things that, cycles they're repeating and continue to repeat, and didn't know that this cycle is following you in this life too, and you're still making the same mistakes, and you're going to keep repeating those things until you get it right. And then, as well as helping them find out what their purpose is, because that was, again, a big thing for me, and what led to my depression for years. So that's something I'm really passionate about. And non-coincidentally, the number one question that I get asked during a session is, what is my purpose? That they don't ask me, but they're asking their higher self, their spirit guides, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And me being able to help guide them and get that information, I feel honored, and it makes me light up. I feel fed, like well fed, full of gratitude to be able to help them in that way. So yeah, if there's anything I didn't answer in this video, let me know. I know it's probably a little all over the place, but any other questions you have for me that you want me to make a video about, put it in the comments below, or leave a comment for me, DM me, whatever you want. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, do so. You can find me at Neoshi Hypno Soul Healing. And I've been told I have some of the funniest memes on Instagram, so follow me and you'll see what I mean. Anyway, I hope I was able to help you get more of an understanding of who I am, why I'm doing this work, and who I do it for. And of course, I do offer remote and in-person sessions. So if you are interested in a private session for yourself, go to neoshihypno.com, click on the link above that says book a session, and I'll be more than happy to guide you on the journey. I'm also available to do group regressions. If you have an event that you're interested in having me come to do a group regression for your attendees, I'm more than happy to come out and guide your attendees as well, whether it be in person or virtual. Or if you're interested in knowing more about my work and what I do, again, go to neoshihypno.com and you'll find a slew of information that'll help you out. I think that's it. Until next time, be sure to subscribe if you haven't to my YouTube. You'll get notifications when I do have a new video. Most of my videos are little snippets from my client sessions. All videos are shared with my client's permission, of course. Sometimes they want to share little experiences. Sometimes they're past life experiences. Sometimes they're, little nuggets here and there, things. But subscribe if you want to see videos like that. And thank you for listening. All right, y'all. Have a good day. Peace.